Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to Sick of the Shit Publications. It's the Diogenes Club. I'm Nick Paro, not your dad, joined by Walter Rhein, protector of Labradors, Dr. Eric Lullove, medical editor at Blue Ant Media, and eventually, when he decides to show up, Evan Fields, the mysterious man who is always late. But it's good to see you guys. How are you today? Welcome, everyone, as you start coming on in.
Yes, welcome everybody. Welcome.
Good to see everybody.
I'm gonna also start pulling up the show so I can see.
Thursday, May 21st.
Oh,
is it?
Time that was before time.
These months are just like flipping by. I just gauge my time by when I see Nick. That's just sort of like centers me. It's like, oh, it's Ben again. Yeah.
You got your Tuesdays and Thursdays, and it's just centering.
Yeah. It's like, okay, that's some reality. Then I float. Just floating like this.
And then you float. Eric, you look stressed, my friend.
Yeah.
What's going on, brother?
It's been rough. We've had a rough family time at the house for a while.
Oh,
so
sorry.
Ever since my grandmother passed, it's been a little rough. So
yeah, that's hard.
I don't need to.
What can we do to help, dude? How can we help you, man?
No. I mean, listen. I'm where I'm at. But thankfully, I have a very supportive wife, and we're getting through it together, and we're partners, and this is what we do. So.
Good.
Then we drink.
I'm glad you have a partner that's with you.
And then we drink.
And then we drink.
And then we drink.
Well, just having it out in the open, it's like this is the feelings we're having.
Yeah, that's
so
what we
far
do.
ahead of the game. I mean, it's just like you just have to go through it, and it's
I have learned a lot of hard life lessons just in the last 6 months to a year that the people that you're supposed to rely on, the people that you think love you, sometimes don't. And it's a rough lesson to learn later in life. It's much easier to learn that in your 20s.
Oh gosh, I think it's a hard lesson. I mean, I had that talk yesterday with Andrea Watkins. We've been talking about narcissistic abuse, and it's just there's something about the United States that indoctrinates us to just like chase after approval that's never going to come.
It is rampant.
Yes, it's this whole country.
It's funny how this has nothing to do with because of poopy shitting pants sitting in the White House, but it's just
that's what put him there.
When you start seeing patterns of behavior that are very similar in pathology and sociopathic behavior.
Yeah,
it's crazy when you start seeing it in other people that you are like, how did I miss this for the last 30 years? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, I hope I don't express that when I'm with people. I hope that's not the personality that's coming out when I'm with some. I'm like, holy shit, really?
Yeah.
Like,
well, we got to learn to stop chasing and start appreciating the love around us. Is kind of the thing that, because people are always like looking, when I'm a billionaire, everything will be fine, or down the road, or when I get.
Because money solves all the problems, doesn't it?
I had
I
had a really interesting conversation just before this with Ann Kramer, who is a psychologist and teaches around the wholeness model. And I'm going to have her back, and I'd love to have you guys part of the discussion too, because we're going to talk about like connecting all the pieces around. It's talking about emotional intelligence, human, like being a good, better humaning, and how do we balance all these different aspects of our life centered around a self. Hey, Ann Kramer, welcome to the show. We're talking about you,
great.
and the episode we just had together.
Speak of the devil.
Speak of the devil, and she shall appear. Just like Eric, speak of the devil, and he appeared. Speak of the devil, Evan. Maybe you appear, brother. We're gonna call you out, dude. I love calling you out because
we just need to call Evan out. Just call him. Just call him.
Well, text blitz them. I used to text blitz people where we'd get like 20 people and all send them texts at the same time. I always thought that was funny.
Where's Evan in my phone?
Oh, no, you're right though, and that was.
But it was about finding like the self and how you can like we need moving past like this work first mentality, because we're built into a shame society. Like our society is built on this model of shame, where we shame ourselves. Our self-speak is very shame-based and very harmful. Our like expression of self-reflection is often based in this model of shame. and like, what did I do wrong? Why am I bad at this? And until we break that model, and I think we're making a lot of strides, at least for ourselves and for our community, is we're breaking that model of shame. But we're also learning how to, like, I asked questions this morning on how do I apply some of these things to myself right now that I could use, and they're not hard things.
Yeah, I know I'm a really good person, and I know I always mean well, and I have a lot of love to give, but I mean, like, what I've been going through family wise, it's just been like, there are some days that there's just that tank is empty.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
it's hard to remember at times. We can become so preoccupied, and you do just have to turn and have gratitude for the good things. And I try to practice that. Like you were saying, you appreciate your wife is there to help you, and just, I guess maybe when the times are really hard, just take a moment and say thank you for being here and listen to me in this moment, and that'll instantly just make you feel better. It just turns.
But it's harder for me too, Walter. While Nick's ordering a pizza right now,
assuming they respond.
Right. I mean, like, it's hard because I have to, like, kind of like put all this into a box and put it away to step outside my office, and then go take care of somebody with their problems and their issues who they want me to completely narrow down focus. So it's like, imagine packing, repacking, unpacking, repacking, and unpacking and repacking again. It's like, it takes a toll emotionally.
Yeah, that's just a lot of.
I'm just glad that I have a very strong sense of self, that I have that I've had my traumas that have allowed me to learn the right coping skills, to learn how to balance. And I feel bad for these younger generations who just, for whatever reason, lack the coping skills to deal with confrontation.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, I don't think there's a whatever reason, to be totally honest. I think it's just we've been trained to not learn how to cope. And
it's easier to go run for a pill and take a gummy and go smoke a joint.
Well, I think it's digital.
I
think it's social media toxic algorithms is a big part of it, where that's just kind of rewired your brains, where you're not told you can make your own choices.
Oh, you mean the same algorithm, Walter, that we want people to smash the hearts for our show?
Yep.
Yeah, we got to break we got to figure out how to break that algorithm.
We're trying to break the toxic part of it and actually show us. Yeah.
Yeah, like we were talking about this before the show, and Ann and I were talking about this after the intelligent masculinity discussion, better humaning discussion, but also like with other folks in general. We've all talked about that. A lot of us have talked about this, is we need our own platform. We need a tool that isn't owned by billionaires and is actually something that is crowdfunded and open source for us, and not algorithmically driven. But the one problem is that it takes so much fucking money, and it takes a lot of time and effort. And there's so many people doing these things and building tools, and hopefully we're all gonna eventually find each other in the right moments and put the tools together into one big thing. I don't know why chat participation doesn't help in the algorithm.
I just saw that.
We have such a lively chat. Like those of us, like you guys are so amazing in the community. We love really having it. Like, I love having these discussions back and forth with you guys when you ask. I love bringing folks on or who are in our community, like just randomly grabbing folks out of the chat sometimes and getting them to join. Like, Naida, you said it best, is we need to just join forces rather than complain. Like, we can't complain that we don't have the stuff. We just have to join forces to build the stuff. And that's the hard part is I'm not complaining that it's expensive. I am complaining. It's fucking expensive. It's made to be prohibitively expensive for anyone who's not a billionaire to start making this shit.
We also have to
We just have to fight through it. Like, I'm bootstrapping a tool right now that assuming I can finally get it all working, the Broadbanner website and all the tools behind it, once I get it all working, right now the tool itself is like $40 a month to build. And that's not a lot. Like I'm able to bootstrap a tool together for like 40 fucking bucks a month. If I can start getting a bunch of people onto it and start but once I sell it, it'll start costing a lot more. I'm never going to sell the tool to anybody else. But once it starts becoming available to others, it will start costing more than 40 bucks a month. And that'll be something where we all start talking about how do we crowdsource this together so that we pay for it, so that everybody can make something out of it. And that's the model, is collaboration over competition.
It's brainstorming. It's identifying the problems and finding solutions.
Right. Well, it's just, I mean, I'm not going to call anybody out, but those of you that are following, there's a little dust up the last couple of days with 2 of our Substack creators.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there is no, and I think I had a simple comment. I'm like, there is no place for this right now. This is, we should not be sniping at each other, regardless of what you think. I mean, it's not necessary. It is counterproductive to the bigger prize of what we are all trying to accomplish over the next 6 to 8 months.
Everybody's up to their eyeballs
and
stress and frustration, so we just have to give each other a little bit of space and grace.
And I think we need to stop making our own problems. Like some of this, and I know what you're talking about, and just suck less. And
well, it's by design too. I mean, there are nefarious forces putting us at odds with each other. Division is the tool of it's the weapon of our enemy. We all know that.
Division is the weapon of the oppressor. The enemy of our enemy is still our enemy, but they're just they're less our enemy. That phrase always bothered me. Our enemy is
our Facebook friend.
Yes. Is our MySpace top 5 friend.
Well, and I was just like the election integrity thing. I've been talking about that, and a couple of people get mad. I'm just like, okay, so you can see that the criminal regime, absolutely everything they does is, just against the law and against the Constitution, but you're just going to assume they just never touch elections. That's what we're going with right now. And I just think it's odd how so many people are so wound up with how they think about certain things.
Yeah. So Denver actually had a really good post in response to a lot of the conspiracy theories on why Massey lost. Okay.
Well, they're not conspiracy theories. They're just theories. They're just theories. Let's just say that.
Massey, at the end of the day, his own record is what did him in.
We don't know, though. There hasn't been an investigation, right?
Oh, Mr. Conspiracy Theory in the upper right
That's not a conspiracy theory.
I think I do agree with Walter that we need to stop calling them conspiracy thereries, because that was a CIA internal thing to make us all afraid of asking questions.
I mean, you don't, if it had been like 1.5 points and it just avoided.
But what's weird? But what's weird is that the turnout was double the last time in a presidential. I mean, there was in a presidential cycle, and they have twice as many voters in an off year. That's very, very unusual. And it's just like, let's just point out that is really strange.
Okay, my only pushback on that part is we are also forcing our side into huge turnout in a non-presidential cycle too. So we have to expect that the right is going to do the same type of thing and is going to.
But we can't make assumptions.
No. Oh, absolutely. I think every election should be automatically audited publicly.
Yes.
Automatic recounts for every election, hand count, no matter what. I don't care, because the safeguards shouldn't be optional. They shouldn't be there as you have to meet this minimum requirement of it's within 1.2675%, or now it's in pi. It has to be less than pi percentage of vote differential divided by 2 plus 3 minus the charisma of Elon Musk, which is 0.
Think about how much money they spent on that one congressional campaign, and that was a primary.
And we should look into that too. I mean, were all the finance laws followed?
Absolutely.
I mean, all that followed correctly? Because they break the law.
I do not care how much money they have in the bank. If you force them to spend $30 million on a primary, we're winning.
Oh, yeah. And I'm not mad that we're making them spend a shitload of money on primaries. I'm not mad. I do agree that we need to, every election should be recounted.
Yeah.
Automatically, because then we could put a nail in the coffin of these theories depending on what theories they
That's it.
are.
That's
And
it.
we could have an answer. And
Yes.
that's what's important is the guardrail itself. The guardrail
Yes.
is so fucking important. Like, it's the idea of the impeachments. It's why I fucking think we need to be using impeachment all the fucking times, because it is it is the bare minimum guardrail of high crimes or misdemeanors. And they need to be recorded, individually recorded, maybe not by day, because there's thousands of impeachable offenses that have happened by this president and his administration and others in the administration and the cabinet. Every single one of those needs to be submitted individually as articles of impeachment, which need to be forced to be voted on and put onto record, because that is the bare fucking minimum that that the Constitution demands of congressional members to do. That's it. It is feasible. It is easy to do. We can force those things. And I think because we are starting to have conversations on our side that are actually meaningful about primaries and forcing primaries to matter, we're forcing the right to do the same, but spend way more money doing it. And I'm okay if the Democrats spend a boatload of money too against our primary candidates. Because if our primary candidates win, guess who wins? Us, the people. Because when the progressives fucking win, we go forward.
Yeah. I just want to just double check in the chat, everybody, if my level came up a little bit, because Ginch had said my level was about half. So
sound good to me.
Let me know if the sound quality's better. But look what happened in Pennsylvania. They spent a ton of money, and Chris Red, I think it was what's his
Rabs, I think.
Rabs, wound up winning. Didn't get a full plurality, got 40-something%, but he still won.
Well, and my issue too is
Gingy says up more for years.
And my issue too is when we have reasonable questions, people shouldn't yell at us for having reasonable questions. We should have an answer. And it's like, this is my question about this. Well, you shouldn't even be asking that. You're sounding like a conspiracy theorist. None of that's acceptable. It's like, no, let's have a reasonable, rational academic response to these anomalies that we're seeing. And there's a lot of election experts who have been sounding the alarm on a lot of different things. Election interference isn't just one thing. There were bomb threats in 2024. Did we ever investigate that? Who was responsible for those bomb threats? And if there has been a bomb threat, you should be recounting every ballot in the district where the bomb threat was called in. It's not just like, oh, we think we handled that, let's move on. And that's the issue. They've been pushing us to just accept these results. We deserve to have a reasonable inquiry to make sure the elections are valid. And we need the DNC to come along with that, and not just acting like the DNC treats election integrity the same way the GOP treats climate change, is what I wrote today. Denial is not a strategy. It's a real thing. We have to take it seriously.
Yeah, and Naida, absolutely. Like the idea that groups in the progressive community, the left is just as culpable for racism and bigotry as the right is.
Absolutely.
And there is very little difference for a lot of people. And I will not deny that. Like, I've met Natasha Kay. I've met you, Naida. I've met plenty of folks who are, and I've seen plenty of other folks like Qasim Rashid, who I've spoken to, or Wajahat Ali, folks like that, all have said the same thing about how racist the Democratic Party is as a group.
Well, the Democratic Party is conservative. Is what I always say is like, we don't have any left representation in the United States. We have only conservative representation in this country. It's been that way for a long time.
It's been a representative oligarchy.
Yeah.
And
those bomb threats were initially reported to be tied to Russia. And how the fuck did we not investigate that immediately?
I don't know. It's
it
not
disappeared.
We didn't see people get arrested for that, did we? I mean, it's just sort of like, oh, it goes away. Your questions mean nothing. Now you're a conspiracy theorist. I need the answer. I'm a scientist. It hasn't been proven to my academic standard.
Like,
I mean, Walter's not wrong. He is a scientist.
I hate to bring up everybody's, colonic health here, but we really, this whole country needs literally an enema. Seriously, we need what was the line from Batman with Jack Nicholson, this town needs an enema. Like our country needs an enema. Like badly. Like we just, there's a lot of toxic shit right now. And we have to get the toxic shit out of the body. It's just, sorry everybody.
I wrote a poem a long time ago, or
reality.
a while ago, that was, we need to excise the wound. Like we need to abscise and excise this wound because it's cancer.
Dead tissue in the wound and it's not going to heal.
Yeah, and it's actively rotting the tissue around it, and it's spreading to rot more. And if we do not get rid of the cancer, like we have to get rid of this wound. We have to, it's necrotic. It's fucking killing us.
Guys, how about that? I'm a wound healer.
Yeah, like I was talking with it may have been Salam Bhatti yesterday when I was speaking with him, the congressional candidate, one of the Courage for Democracy candidates running for Virginia 1, running against another Courage Democracy candidate in the primary, Erica Kopp.
Oh, they're both
also for Virginia 1. Both are incredible. I wish them both the best of luck, and I hope whoever wins, the other one joins their team, because I think they would be a fantastic combination of super intelligent people. So best of luck to either one of them. But Salam was talking about it yesterday, was like, I think it was Salam, was like Jason Kander. A lot of people know who Jason Kander is. He's a host on Midas Touch now with the Majority 54. He was a rising star in the Democratic Party and was on their trajectory to be like the next Obama type figure for a presidential candidate. He's also an Iraq war veteran, and he does a ton of stuff around the VA and veterans health. He should be the next VA, head of the VA. Eric, you should be the next HHS. Like, maybe not HHS, but you should be someone in the administration who knows what the fuck they're doing and talking about it. We have a parade of deplorables and a parade of horribles who don't know what the fuck they're doing. And all they want to do is spread rage culture and WWE or whatever, the MMA on the White House lawn and shit like that.
Well, we were talking before about how the first thing that the administration did was get rid of the pandemic response team, and then they told people not to do masks and not to, and it's like they did everything they needed to do to ensure a pandemic. And like we were talking about this yesterday with Bob Dana, where they're like, we don't want them to have a nuclear weapon. But it's like millions of people are going to die from a pandemic.
Nick stepped in it when he mentioned hantavirus. Hantavirus is not the issue right now that we should really be scared and worried about. It's this new booga Ebola virus that's out there. Yeah. And this is an Ebola virus that, there's no vaccine for. 0 vaccinations. There's nothing in the pipeline to treat this particular Ebola virus. Number 2, again, like Walter mentioned, the first thing Trump did, he did in the first term, he did it too. He wiped out the pandemic response unit. And by doing that, not only this time around, wiped out all the funding for any particular fast tracking of, God forbid, we do have a pandemic and need a vaccine. I mean, this is the point where good governance, is literally like a prerequisite job requirement. Like knowing what the hell to touch and not touch. Like you want to start cutting programs that don't make sense, fine. Or it's wasteful fat products or wasteful pork projects. But pandemic response, public health, national security issues. I mean, everybody how many times have I said this? Like our public health is a national security pillar. Yeah. And they have literally toppled the pillar, guys. I mean, ladies and gentlemen. They have wiped out that one of our pillars of our national security because Maha was not about making America healthy again.
Yeah. Well, they killed a million.
It never was. It never was. It was the other lie. It was one of the other big lies they told about the election. The first one being stolen. The other one is, we can make America healthy again. No, you don't. You want to make America sick, dumb, and broke.
Well, I think they want us all dead so they can automate things with their AI technology because they see paying workers as a huge expense. I mean,
that's true. That's the Yarvian philosophy.
Yeah. And now they brought eugenics back into health and human services.
Yeah, like
Because that worked out in the 30s and 40s for everybody, remember?
Yeah, that worked out so well for so many people.
Right.
I'm like, there's all these concentration camps in Germany that are still that get visited, and there's a ton of memorial sites around the last time eugenics was a big thing. Maybe we should fucking go back to that, or the under-babied thing and bullshit. Like somehow we're under-babied, but we're not under cared for in this country. Like fuck off, Doc Oz. You're a pro-natalist asshole. Well, and all you care about is birth, but you don't give a shit about anything else.
Well, this is their replacements theory bullshit. I mean, that's extreme right-wing hate ideology as much as it could possibly be, and it's just
the stupid part that the people, the 30% that are still following the culture ward, fear-mongering, have drunk the Kool-Aid, injected the heroin, snorted the coke, smoked the joint. This 30%, they are so baked into their personalities that this is who they are. To try to even, and the psychologists in our chat will probably even say and agree that once it's embedded like this, they are the only way you're going to get rid of them is for them to literally leave the planet, because they will never change, because that would mean admitting to themselves that they have to change, and that's never going to happen. There is a percentage of this population, of our 330 million people, 180 million people who vote. There are 60 million people out there that are literally in the rabbit hole, smoking all the shit, believing the lies. Will literally, he's got his private army, by the way, and it's 60 million people.
My concern is always that children's rights, because we were saying it's like they indoctrinate kids by abuse in childhood. Our whole nation, our traditions, our venerated traditions are all child abuse in this country, because we don't see children as people, and when that needs to change. You guys with your toys.
I've got the brainworm from RFK that didn't finish its job. This is pre-morphing into Stephen Miller and turning into a worm of a human being. This is the little brainworm that came out. I wish he had finished the job, but he didn't. And now we're stuck with a eugenicist who has half a fucking brain.
Light effects.
And I trust the worm more than him. Not the Stephen Miller worm, but the actual brain worm. More than him. Like I just think that there's so much going on with this Maha movement that isn't being spoken about. And I honestly think if your policies are to kill humans and it starts killing people, you should be held culpable for murder. If your policies are directly linked to murdering people, remember how we held Hitler and the Nazis accountable for murdering people during the last genocide, during the Holocaust that happened? Remember how we need to hold leaders accountable or their minions continue to do the things? We have done it in the past. We have in the past held people accountable for these exact things. Maha's not a grift. We need to stop using grift. Grift undervalues what they're actually doing. Maha is eugenicists. Maha is a eugenist policy. Maha is about eugenicism, and it's about is a eugenics idea to kill off 2/3 of the American population and others around the world, because we are overpopulated according to the Yarvian philosophy that there can only be 100 million people in the US. We have 340 something million, which means about 240 million of us need to die. That is eugenics.
And we're the ones not invited to the party.
Nope.
So there's no
none of us are invited.
There's no fertilizer for food. There's no hospitals. They're allowing pandemics. I mean, there's a lot, and they got their concentration camps in their secret.
I do have a trivia question for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
What mammal has
the blue whale? Yeah,
blue whale. and the reason why I brought that up, I didn't mean to change the subject on everybody. Walter wrote this amazing piece the other day.
Thank you.
He really wrote this amazing piece on the legend of the blue whale, and it's. I really encourage everybody to not just read it, but listen to the audio because Walter narrates it, and it is such a phenomenal piece of work. Walter, really.
Oh, thank you.
It really, honestly, from I know we're friends and we're colleagues and we're brothers, but you know what? You created a piece of art.
Thank you.
I wanted to be the one to tell you that because it was just brilliant.
I got your message about that. I felt so good. And it kind of came out because after one of these talks when Nick and I were all stressed, I kind of remember that story and I told it to Nick real quick and we just laughed till we cried and for 2 minutes, I got to write this. It was just one of these. It was off camera. It was just this little, just laughing. And then it's okay, I got to share this. I've had so many nice comments on that story too. It's a little inappropriate, but it's funny. It's juvenile.
What? We're R-rated here. What do you?
We have to allow ourselves to be inappropropriate when we need to be. And
Melissa Corrigan shared it. I was so
my God. Melissa's response to giant laughing, the giant laughing emoji was just the best. It was just
that was funny.
Yeah. Oh, that's so refreshing. I was trying to see if I had the picture of the blue whale.
Encourage everybody in the chat. I really encourage everybody in the chat to look at Walter's profile and find the story and just listen to it because it's
hey nerds.
Yay!
What's up, dudes?
Hey.
Do you need
I know I was having technical difficulties. I was trying to get the computer to work and I apologize.
We have a question in the chat for Eric. There's been a question. I see a hand holding up. We'll have to wait for the question to come in for Ashley from Ashley here. Yes, I see you, Ashley.
Oh,
Evan,
yeah.
What's up, man? I called you.
What's
You
up,
didn't even
man?
answer, bro.
You guys.
You didn't even answer my call, bro.
I know. I apologize. I was in the other room trying to get it to work, and I know. I'm here.
With your blue ball.
I figured I'd jump on here before anything that it would work better to just jump on than call back or something.
You look just like your profile pic. I'm just gonna have to say that.
I do.
The one my daughter sent you. I was so excited about that.
Dude, I love that so much. I'm gonna cherish that forever. I have it on my Instagram. I showed it to my parents. I love it.
Yeah, that's so.
That's just something that makes you happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm so happy when she gives me one of those. I'm just even if I don't get to see your joy directly, I feel it when I send the message. I'm like, this is gonna make his day. And it's oh my God,
that's great, man. I love it. How are you guys doing, dude? I've been watching the congressional candidate interviews and everything. Who are you guys excited about?
All of them. Aren't they so good? I mean, these progressive candidates that are just real people with edge and the women, that's I was saying, the ones that don't use any mansplaining. That was my article from the other day. We got to get mansplaining out of politics.
Yeah.
And it's once you're out of that atmosphere, it's holy shit. It's nobody's just trying to bully through a point because they can't defend themselves. The ladies are just this and this academic response. This will work. Then we'll do this. Not taking any shit. I'm just I will step aside and do everything I can to lift you up because this is what we need. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time deciding who is any better than the other because they're all really good. I have been fortunate though now, and Walter has been fortunate too, is we have both interviewed both of the Courage for Democracy candidates for VA1 for Virginia CD1.
Dude, that was a great live yesterday.
He's great.
Thanks.
Too.
He's so intelligent, and the ideas we got to talk about around universal basic income and funding sources, plus AI. I'm excited to talk to him more about that, but also his views on disability action and his support for the VA community, the veterans community, and the disability community is really amazing. And then on the flip side, you have Erica Kopp, who is also very supportive of disability rights in the disability community and builds and she was so incredible to talk to, and her ideas were just so straightforward. And we got to have her talk with Ellie Leonard for a little bit. And Abel Chavez, who's not a Courage for Democracy candidate, but should be.
Is he not? I thought he was.
He's not listed on there yet. I don't know if he is yet, but he's he's incredible. We've talked to him a couple times, and man, they're just all so these progressive candidates are just smart because they're listening to people.
Yeah, I mean, I had Victoria Doyle on last week she's running against Lois Frankel in Palm Beach County, and then Tuesday I had John Licione from Florida 13 in Pinellas County, outside just north of St. Petersburg in Tampa. And I'm actually working on a schedule right now to get Nicole Laughlin on. She's running in Florida 26, and she's another young progressive. She's 27 years old, lawyer, running against Mario Delaz-Billart, who just basically screwed his entire district. And then don't forget, guys, Lev's running in Florida 25, which is now Florida 25 to unseat Maria Salazar. And John Licione is running against, hopefully, to unseat Anna Paulina Luna, they pretty much sheltered her with this redistricting because she should be in prison. We're talking about a Florida representative that was literally marching Chinese Duma representatives and legislators through the Congress in restricted areas, and has been a foreign agent for the Chinese government who's not registered as a U.S. congressperson. So they've been insulating her, and this goes back 30 years in Florida with the politics down here. Like, this is 30 years of misogynistic plutocracy. Male white superiority. And listen, I'm ground zero for the Epstein files, guys. This is where it happened, right? And
country club bullshit.
You had the Bush family in power. Then you had Rick Scott, and then Ron DeSantis. We had Pam Bondi as the Attorney General.
Yeah.
I mean, you had DeSantis was a congressperson. Lois Frankel was the mayor of West Palm Beach, not Palm Beach, but West Palm Beach.
That's where Trump is, right?
Alex Acosta attorney down here. I mean, it has just been a pool of fucking shitbag motherfuckers down here who have done nothing but victim women and people, and the continuous. It's just there's been no accountability at all.
Yeah.
Oh, come on down to Florida. You can live your life down here, and no accountability whatsoever. It's the Wild West.
Yeah, you guys are the real Wild West out there, even more so than Texas, it seems like now.
Well, and I also got to speak to Eric Turwey, who's running for
He's great too.
Oklahoma 2,
I like him a lot.
Which is the district. I think it's Oklahoma 2. Make sure. Yeah, Oklahoma 2, which is the district that actually butts up against one of my district here in Arkansas. And my candidate is also a Courage for Democracy candidate. So I want to get him on because he's challenging Steve Womack. And Steve Womack's a piece of shit who doesn't fucking do anything. And all he does is just go to Congress and make money and doesn't fucking care about Arkansas because he hasn't fucking been here in years. And all he wants to do is sit on his fucking high horse and live his pretentious ass life. And fuck you, Steve Womack. You're protecting predators and child molesters and pedophiles. And I'm still waiting on, or I'm still deciding and trying to figure out if I can, or how to do it, is get billboards up in the area that just say Steve Womack is protecting pedophiles. Because he is. They would do it to us. They would do it to our candidates. Why can't we fucking do it back?
Yeah, they don't care at
all. I want
to
shame him at home where his church members are going to see it, where his community, where his neighbors are going to see it, so that they call him and ask, why are you protecting a pedophile?
Yeah.
Because even most people are still going to go, that's gross.
I've thought about that, protesting at churches. I think that might be a good... I mean, we do have to start taking this fight to where, not just on social media that's captured by nefarious sources, but, I mean, all these millionaires, all these Republicans, they own businesses and stuff in your area. It's like they shouldn't be unaccountable for all the things. I mean, lawfully and legally and peacefully, but they should have to feel a little pressure for these things they're supporting.
Oh, absolutely. I put it out just a little while ago, right before we started our show, is we all need to be talking about extremist Christianity in the same ways we talk about other religious extremists. And you can fill in for that Christianity. You can also put in Jewish extremism. You can put in Islamic extremism, whatever extremism you want. But right now, Christian extremism needs to be talked about the same way as others, which is their religious schools are radicalization centers and their religious summer camps are training grounds.
Yeah.
And we need to be fucking talking about that. We need to be saying that, and we don't ever fucking talk about it that way.
So here's a really good question I want to ask you guys. Okay. Now we know throughout human history that more people have died in the name of God than disease and pestilence and all that stuff.
Crusades.
So over the years, and we go through human history, which religion or which sect of religion has killed more people in the name of their God?
It's not even close. Not even a little bit.
Let's ask the Native American tribes in Utah, the First Nations people who were in the West before the Mormons spread.
Don't forget the Spanish
genocide in America.
You know, like ask the Aztecs and the Incas about the Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah.
My high school in California, our mascot was the Conquistadors. Like, it's real. They fucking Nick, I was gonna tell you. Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say because we were talking about the congressional candidates.
I wanted to because Nick brought up the extreme Christianity. I wanted to make sure that everybody understood that this isn't just relegated to what we've done here in the U.S. This is
if they want
to.
Yeah. This is their history. This is the history of the church.
If they want to bring religion into schools, this is a way to do it. Let's talk about the crimes they committed, the abuses, those laundries. They used to, the women that were abused in these facilities, the child rape cover-ups of religion. It's ugly.
But let's not caveat this, because there are a lot of people who are Christian that are very God-fearing, who are peaceful, who follow the Bible, who follow the scriptures, agree with us in exposing who follow the writings of Jesus,
right?
Right. So we should. I don't want to lump everybody into the same boat here, because Christian or Jewish.
Well, that's like people,
very evil people.
Yeah, that's like people like Tim Whitaker and like April Ajoy. They do like the new evangelicals and everything. And I was telling somebody yesterday, I have no issue with people that are Christians and practice the word of God and actually use the Bible and practice charity and taking care of others and being kind and everything. But it's this American jihad of riding around in their lifted trucks and being hateful and saying, oh, I go to church on Sundays and I'm a Christian, but fuck you. You know what I mean? It's just so hypocritical and ass backwards that I hate that people don't call it out.
Yeah, it can't be off limits. And we have too many things in the United States that are discussion topics that are just off limits, that are reasonable things to talk about. Here are the receipts. Let's discuss this. Oh, you used a word I don't like, so now you're right. It's no, let's walk through this and find agreement and fix the problem and save people, save humanity.
I want to
we lost him.
Oh, he's back. I want to comment too. There was a comment in the chat of Eric, then don't lump all drug use as a Maha issue. I don't think Eric ever actually lumped all drug use as a Maha issue.
I didn't
he used examples of drugs as part of the culture that Maha promotes, but I don't distinctly remember him ever saying all drug use is Maha. And I think Eric would disagree to that statement that all drug use is Maha, because
no, I was just saying that they bought the Kool-Aid. It was the equivalent of smoking the heroin and snorting the coke and doing the Kool-Aid. It was an analogy, not advocating for drug use.
Oh, I bet you they're doing all the fucking ketamine and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, you look at the history of World War II as well, use of heavy illicit drugs in Germany was through the roof.
Fucking marching powder.
They did heavy ass drugs.
Hi, the Tuskegee. What do we do to Tuskegee? Hello.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, did you ever hear that?
Soldiers.
Have you ever read the study, though, where it's drug use? If you have a system of actual support, the drug use is much more easily managed. If you come back to a place like the United States, where it's just you're on your own, fuck yeah. It's then drug use is an issue. But if you go into places, I remember some study about this, where they went to places where it's you're taking the drugs just to survive a horrible situation, but then you get back where you're actually feeling loved and supported, and it's like addiction then just kind of takes care of itself.
Oh, that would be mental health care.
You mean the self-care things that we're not allowed to do here in America because all we're allowed to do is be rage-filled and hate ourselves? And we need to talk about Christian nationalism. We have to talk about this shit in the same language as we do the others. And yes, I really value, Evan, I want to get back to your question because I thought you had a question you wanted to ask, was like, I really value what Tim Whitaker and April A. Joy and folks like that are doing.
Mm-hmm.
They're the exception to the rule because the dominant form of Christianity through history has been violent, has been incredibly violent.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to say that. Just like American history is incredibly violent. They're intrinsically tied together at times because the spread of Christianity in America was manifest destiny. And that's what brought about the Mormons spreading and a genocide.
Yeah.
Religion needs to take a back seat for a little while, in my opinion, and let the rest of the world do its stuff. Like, let the rest of humanity grow because the history of religion is violence. I'll say that for most religions, not just Christianity. Like the history of religion, especially monotheistic religions, is pretty violent.
Yeah. Any good idea is always going to be corrupted by, people that want to exploit others. So you say it's a defilement of the good beliefs. And then the people that are truly practicing, trying to be true to the beliefs, should come to your side. It's the same as, it's like, like men need to get their shit together. You say this as a man. It's because, I want to join with other good men to fix the problems with the toxic men.
Hi, buddy. I also think that religion, Chris, you put a good comment in, is religion is like a penis. It's perfectly fine to have one, to have and take pride in it. But when one takes it out and waves it in my face, we have a problem.
Yeah.
Oh, Evan's got to run. All right, Evan, you had a question, dude.
Before no, you're good. I've got a couple minutes, but I just wanted to make a couple quick points before I go, I guess. You guys talked about the whole drug use and everything and how it's almost like you need support and all that. And that is one of the biggest things that drives me crazy about treatment and things like that, because I had a horrible drinking problem when I was in the Army, and people don't make it out of stuff like that unless they have a support system. You know what I mean? So it's the biggest thing to get people treatment and get them help and everything, because nobody wants to be just fucked up and depressed all the time. You know what I mean? So if we could have some compassion for people and get them into treatment and stuff. But the other thing that I was going to say, it was about the congressional candidates, and it was just like a real quick thing that I had reached out, because you know how I've been having issues with the computer and everything, and I haven't been able to do it. But I reached out to a couple candidates here in CO5 that I will forward you guys their information and everything. Sarah Killen's one of them. I think she was a former school administrator. She's really great. And we've got fucking Jeff Crank out here, and he's like a big time Trump supporter, big time anti-abortion advocate and everything. So I'll put you guys in contact with them so that at least somebody can get them out there and everything. You know what I mean?
Perfect.
Yeah. And I was also, I shared a resource with Walter with a directory that we can all work on to contact folks out of that are part of campaigns and the support systems, because we should all be doing it. Yeah, I think that's really important. It's like, it's our job right now to interview candidates. It's our job right now to get as many candidates out there as possible, and to get these views out there and their talking points. And yeah, I know the statements I'm making, at least around religion, could be kind of controversial and may push some people away. And I don't apologize for my view on this, because I think religion is good. Religion is good. If
they can forgive us our trespasses, right? They can forgive us our trespasses against their religion. That's kind of what they preach.
Also, if your religion brings positivity and grounds you and offers you strength and isn't manipulating you into being a hate-filled rage monster, I have no problem with it. Like I don't have problem with people's religion. I think it needs to take a back seat because it has become so confrontational towards everybody, and it's hurting people, especially white Christian nationalism, but it's hurting people. And it's
too, I think.
It's hurting. Oh, there's no I think in that statement. It's I know it's hurting children. The largest purveyor of child sex abuse are the churches. So like
time to start talking. Yeah.
We need to fucking talk about these things.
So
it's not all churches. It's not all churches. We've been very open about that. Not all churches. Evan, love you too, brother.
Bye guys. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. Show. All right. Take care, guys.
Bye, Evan.
It's not all churches, but it's too many of them. Mm-hmm. And it's just like it's not all men, but it's enough of us that you can't trust which ones are good and which ones are bad. It's the same thing with church right now. It's the same thing with religion. I cannot trust that your religion is good until it's been proven.
Yeah. Show me. Yeah.
So
let's see those good acts.
There's a lot. I was looking through the chat, and that's why I was kind of a little quiet. I was trying to get caught up with some of the things that people were saying, and I really appreciate everybody's comments in the chat. And whether you have agree with us, disagree with us, we want you to put stuff in the chat. We want you to engage. We're always not going to agree on everything, as much as we all
absolutely
love the community here. So here's the thing with religion. Okay, I'm not trying to be dogmatic. I'm not trying to be whatever word you want to call it, like kind of in the space of like that's when I meant like God fearing. I think Chris had said something back in the chat, and I just want to address it. So, Chris, when I'm using the term God fearing, I'm not using it as a derogatory term. I'm just using it as a descriptor of people who support their religion and they believe in what they believe, but they're not using it for evil. Okay, they're not using their religion as a pretext to harm other people. Like they're using their religion as a pretext to encourage themselves, to build themselves bigger, to look deeper into their own soul or their mind, to grow, to become a larger piece of an individual of what they believe God to be a better person for their families, for themselves, whatever. It's never meant to be a derogatory comment. However, with that said, those that use religion to harm others and use the message of God to do harm, those are the people that we need to extract from society.
Oh, and Chris, I love your comment back here too on the fear part. I was thinking that too this whole time isn't it sad that Christianity's idea or the value that we talk about is God fearing rather than God loving or God supporting? Wouldn't it be a much kinder approach to ourselves and our own and say Christianity if it was about God loving and not God fearing? Like, right. I don't want people to fear God.
It was more about somebody.
No. I'm not. I have no comment. I have no problem with your terminology. I think the terminology itself is weird. That is even the common phrase that they use. Like, it's bullshit that you should be afraid of your God. Your God is supposed to be all loving and all caring and all knowing. You should be God loving and not God fearing.
I just looked up the terminology on Merriam-Webster.
Yeah.
So the first known use of the term God-fearing was in 1548 during the Reformation. Okay. And this is right after the Inquisition. I think that's where the term really kind of developed was after the Spanish Inquisition in the 1500s to having people being more devout about their relationship with God. And I don't think it was meant it has morphed into this language of syntax that just kind of I think what's happened is it's gotten bastardized into somebody who's too fundamentalist. in their belief of religion, and as opposed to God loving, which is a lot much more softer tone. And I think
it's very Jesus-y.
It's very, well, I don't want to say Jesus.
I mean, but it is, God loving is a very Jesus-y thing, isn't it? The New Testament is a loving God,
understanding
is a forgiving God.
From learning the history of the word, and I didn't know that until just now, so I learned something today, that the God-fearing term actually came from 1548, which, I mean, think about this. This term is 550 plus 580 years old, right? Maybe we do need a new term, and maybe it does need to be God-loving instead of God-fearing. Maybe we do need to change the terminology.
Yeah,
like we try and work on other terminology. Why can't we address religious terminology? Yes. And Naida, I appreciate the hell out of your comments. Thank you for making sure that when we talk about this, and I understand that when I talk about religion this way, it can be taken in a very harmful tone. And I do not mean it, and I do not intend it that way. I also understand that it can be, and it is my fault if it is taken in that way. I'm not here to attack anybody's culture. I think it's harmful that communities have been made to think that they need religion for their culture. I think communities have these cultures without the religion anyway, and we could take that and put it on a back seat, because as somebody else said, we've put so much idea into faith or we've been forced to put so much idea into faith that people forgot to put an idea into society and into culture as a general concept. And so we've lost the importance of what does it mean to be a unified culture rather than disparate faiths. And I think that's really harmful, because white Christian nationalism forced Black slaves into Christianity. And I think it's so fucking awful that the legacy of that is that they've been continued to be forced into it, and it's been turned into part of culture when it didn't have to be.
Yeah.
Because white Christian nationalisms forced this upon people. And we're still in that. And yes, it is much, much older than the US. It is a Christian problem.
Yeah,
and I'm tired of not being able to say that. I'm tired of people holding that back. It is a Christian problem. The Christianity is built on the system of patriarchy, abuse, and domination.
Yeah,
and we need to be able to admit that.
The church was making money on the slave trade, and that's how they retrofitted the Bible to prevent racism.
We allowed, or we let white Christian nationalists justify slavery with the Bible.
Yep.
We justified slavery with the Bible in the US. We've justified all of these horrible actions. The spread of Mormonism is the story of the American genocide. And we're not ready to talk about that in America. So nobody wants to talk about the fact that Mormonism is founded on white supremacy and white nationalism and hate and fraud and genocide. We don't want to talk about that here in the States because we're too afraid to break away from, we've been so indoctrinated by Christian nationalism that we have to see Christianity as part of us. It is not. It is not. It doesn't have to be.
And what you're talking about is defilements of the good parts. I mean, the Bible has thoughts, you know, there's
so many great
stories about love, and all this white supremacy stuff is a defilement of everything that's good. So all the good Christians should be joining and applauding us for saying, let's stop the defilement of Christianity, come back to the good part about humanity, about caring for each other, about mutual support. And I never understand why that's a controversial thing to say, but it's because we're not allowed to talk about things because of racism and the control and the influence of it in this country.
And I'm going to take it back just a little bit further than Christianity too, because Judaism, we deserve blame in this too. We definitely do. We are a warring system. It is, I know, Naida, this discussion is centered on whiteness because we're a fucking big part of the problem. Like, whiteness caused this problem. The idea of white caused this problem. I don't like the idea of white. I don't like the idea of it. I think it's fucking disgusting because we put ourselves on a pedestal and said everybody else has to be subjugated to us, and to do that we use religion. We justified all of these acts with religious subjugation, be it Jewish subjugation, be it Christian subjugation. Both have a history of subjugation. Both have history of war. The God of Judaism is the old God of war from the original pantheon that it broke from. The Zoroastrians, there's a reason there aren't any of them, because the Jewish tribes butchered them. And yes, there was a lot of war back then too. There's still a lot of war. We need to talk about it in this ways. Our history is based in subjugation to Christianity, and that subjugation to Christianity turned into very early subjugation through white nationalism. Be it what you want, whatever you want, it's always been white supremacy in Christianity. They took over the church early and used it to supremacize themselves over everybody else, and they forced Christianity onto other nations and other peoples and said, this is what you now believe in, or you die, or you're a slave, or you believe in it and you're still a slave. We don't give a shit because you're not white and you're not us. So it is, unfortunately, it's centered on whiteness, partially because that's my view of the world. I have been brought up in that society, and we need to break it.
Yeah. So, well, it started by subjugating anybody that didn't share their beliefs, the heretics,
mm-hmm.
and then that evolved into white supremacy.
You know, I'm just reflecting, guys. I was just listening and just to sit back and just to reflect. We started today with me talking about family issues, right? Like the struggles I've been having since my grandmother passed away. And somehow this thing has now morphed into, where did this conversation take us? Right? I mean, it wound up becoming a religious war over language, right?
Mm-hmm.
We literally got away from the whole point of the title of our show, which is to replace and reclaim and rebuild. We got away from what we were supposed to talk about today, and somehow we got caught up in our own little religious war over syntax.
Yeah.
Listen, we all the three of us are all responsible for the path of where the show takes us, but we also, unlike other shows, we actually read the chats and respond to our viewers that are supporting our show and want to engage with them as well. And I don't want to think that we're living in a silo here. We recognize everybody in the chat, and we recognize that everybody's going through personal everything, including Walter's blue whale.
Yeah.
But
poor guy.
And there's the humor back in our conversation. But even with Evan, like even for the 10 minutes that Evan's on, it brings the four of us more cohesively close. Evan has always been an integral part of why we did this show in the first place. And it pains me that we have this level of strife and conflict still in our own little community over something that none of us truly will ever comprehend or know on any level. So all I'm saying is I think we need to everybody just take a deep breath, count to 10, let's refocus, right? What is our goal here, right? What is the purpose of why we do this? It's to undo the masculinity and damage that's been done. We're not going to get it solved in a 1-hour show that's been going on for centuries, right? But we can do better.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be better.
And I'm building off what you said. I want us to get back to next week. Hopefully we get maybe we get ourselves back into our rhythm and really focus back in on a single discussion area, and support each other. No. I don't think anybody needs to apologize for anything.
No apologies. No.
That happened today. I think it's important that we have all these conversations and that we're able to transition and weave our way. We actually can do a weave here where we can talk about things and we don't sound like a we don't sound like a rambling orange buffoon. But I think it's important that we have these discussions and that we remind ourselves that we do need to recenter so that we can focus in on what brought us together. And yeah, I love the feedback. And we're right now we built this group because Evan needed support in December, and the three of us were there and said, let's do it. And that's where we started. And I want to build this. Like, I'd love to see growth in who we include on our panel. Like, I do this because they were my friends and they were available, and we contacted when Evan needed the support most, and we brought it live, and we've just been doing it since. And I think we all grow as we're doing this show, and refocusing is going to be a good idea for us.
And just a point here, like I love the fact that it is we have actually expanded the group of people that we have included as part of our club with people like Natasha and Yetta and Ashley and Chris and everybody that we've brought in. I mean, Fred on occasion when he's been able to pop in, and we are truly blessed to be able to do this. I am grateful for my friendships with the two of you as well as Evan, and the relationships that I have built since I started Substack in October. And it's just in where our paths have crossed and recrossed and flared out and recross again. We are literally at a crossroads, not just as a country, but also I think all of us individually all have very hard choices to make, before November 3rd. Some easier than others. And the decisions that we have to make are really going to be very dependent on what type of, not just country, but what type of community we want to have and want to be a part of. And it's a very scary topic to look at that, because it really is our lives are on the line.
Yeah.
I mean, this is our battlefield, everybody. This is the hill that we all are going to have to die on to make this, not legitimately die, but we're going to have to die on this hill. This is the hill that we have to fight our battle on, because they would love nothing more for us to take up arms, because that would make life a lot easier. But if we make this an intelligent masculinity hill and an intelligent masculinity conversation, and we are basically like, you guys are full of shit and this is why, because I have yet to see any of these female governors in any of these states legislate men's health the way that men have legislated women's health. Okay. And that's just one little area where I know I make a difference, because I will never ever vote against not just my wife, but my daughter or anybody else's kid or their health care.
Yeah.
Because they have a different chromosome than I do.
Yeah.
That is just fucking insane.
And as we get away from the patriarchal setup, it's going to be uncomfortable, and and growth is uncomfortable, and we're going to have to acknowledge mistakes and things that have been part of our deeply held beliefs for a long time. It's just one of those things that's going to have to happen, and we'll try to work through it with as much grace as we can and give people space to go through it. But things are not going to be the same on the other side of this as they were going into it. They're just not. We've got a lot of things we have to change, and we just got to remember who our allies are, work for everybody's greater humanity, and stop the torture of human beings is our objective. And we have to leave no stone uncovered, in pursuit of that objective, even if it's sacred stones that we've been told all our lives never to flip over. They got to be flipped too. Sorry, they just do.
Like I said, we need an enema.
Yeah, yep. The collective enema.
Cool. That seems uncomfortable.
You like that when you get it. Yeah.
I'm glad I was not drinking coffee when you said that.
I was waiting for Walter to drink. I was trying to get him to spray, but I just I didn't want to ruin the hardware.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, gents, we have to wrap up here. Yeah. I've got another show I got to help.
Everybody, thank you so much.
Everybody. Yeah, I'm going to put up our QR codes real quick so that we can plug ourselves as always, shamelessly plugging ourselves. Let's start. I'll do it for, hold on, where is he? Evan, he was here for a little bit. He's gone now. Come support our brother, Evan Fields, News from Underground. He's doing some really great writing. And
in particular, of late, it's been phenomenal.
Yeah, Evan's doing really great writing. Yeah. He's not holding back, and he's doing incredible work. Go support our friend, Evan Fields, News from Underground. Eric, how about you, my friend?
Guys, thank you for tuning in today. You can follow me here on Substack, drlullove.substack.com. Follow my work on Blue Ant Media. I do have a new piece coming out, hopefully in the next couple of days, on another healthcare piece on the healthcare bill that you haven't gotten yet, which is another, as well as I've deflated Walter again.
Yeah.
But it's another important piece. It's not so technical. I really worked hard on this piece to try to not make it as technical as the last two pieces that were about HHS and Palantir, and I try to. I'm really working on my writing, so please, if you can give me a lot of feedback on the pieces, I would appreciate it, because I work really hard to try to be a better writer. So
I love that. Love it. And let me go to our next. Walter, my friend.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Yeah, we're going to continue to work for a more humanitarian United States. And I think, that's our objective here. We want to protect, becoming more and more of an advocate just for children's rights. I think our children in this country are abused as part of our venerated traditions. And I don't think it's acceptable. We have to fix that. So I'll continue that effort, keep interviewing good candidates of integrity. It's been filling my heart with joy to see how many good people are out there working really, really hard. I come into interviews sometimes with expectations, and they show me the reality of their area and how hard they're working and how good they are. So there are good people out there. So take heart, people. We are going to get this back one way or another, because we're not going to stop. We're not going to stop this resistance. So thank you.
No, we're not. Thanks, Walter. Thanks, my friend. And finally, come support me here at Sick of This Shit Publications. Just suck less, do more, because that's all we're asking. Just suck a little bit less with Sick of This Shit Publications. Come join us here at the Diogenes Club, Intelligent Masculinity discussions. Walter and I do Notes of the Week. We have chronic illness talks. Come join us, have some fun. This has been an incredible afternoon. We went some ways we weren't expecting.
Good stuff.
And next week we're going to have another great discussion. We're going to focus ourselves in. Just suck less, everybody. Go have a great rest of your week, and
everybody have a great Memorial Day weekend. Be safe, barbecue, be outside, enjoy the wonderful weather I think we're going to have this weekend for everybody, and just be well and be safe.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. Now, and as always, we're done being sick of this shit, so we're doing this shit. Thanks, everyone. Have a great one.
Bye.